All right, what is going on, guys? So today is Memorial Day. It was a pretty decent day out, although I hate to admit it, I'm sort of got a little bit of a cold. So my apologies if I don't sound the greatest, but I figured, you know what, I'll still try and make this video for you guys. I'm kind of bored around the house doing nothing, so figure why not? Let's get right into the video and do this. So this is the last of the three-part series I did. If you guys want, go look at my YouTube channel. I did technically three other videos. The first video was a two-parter for how long it was, talking about the essential items needed to K-swap a EF. And then another one I did for maintenance items. That being if you want to do some stuff to the vehicle for like peace of mind, like timing chains and all that before you slap the engine in the car. So if you want, definitely go back in my channel and review those. Maybe it might help you in the future if you ever want to swap a K-Series and a 88 to 91 Civic EF hatch. So this last part, this is what I'm considering the extras, meaning the stuff I didn't really have to do, but I want to because I either want it for more power or I like the appearance of it. So between cosmetic and power items, this is what I would call this. So yeah, let's just get right into it. If it doesn't look it in the video, I'll kind of go over. The one thing I did on this engine build compared to all other engine builds in the past I've ever done, I went to Honda and shout out to my buddy Victor, parts manager over at St. Charles Honda. I really annoyed him so bad with sending a multiple parts list of like just various different bolts and nuts, part numbers and all. Like I'll be honest, I drove him crazy and I apologize for that, dude, if you end up watching my video. But I really appreciate you for doing all that for me. And I'll be honest, it looks really fantastic. Just all these like various new nuts, new bolts everywhere. Just it gives a really nice look to the engine, seeing just like brand new hardware. And then if you're wondering why I had all this, they'll have blue markings. This was for my reference that I torqued everything down. So yeah, definitely. I very much like how everything kind of turned out here for, like I said, all the bolts. Appreciate you once again, Victor, for that. Like, I've never had anything like this before. I just wanted to go a little more above and beyond compared to my other engines I've done in the past. And like, all the bolts were just like really rusty and crusty. And like some of them I was like super worried about like how I'm going to get them off. Thankfully, just about everything was a 10 mil. I'm kind of going through my bucket of bolts just to kind of give you guys an example. Just kind of for appearance sake, maybe it wasn't the actual bolt, but just like look, like this was like one of the, my phone focus. This was just like one of the bolts. It's just like real oily and all that, and just like compare, like it's a no-brainer. Like it just, that looks a lot better than that. So appreciate you for that, Victor. So this was for all the nuts, all the bolts, and miscellaneous brackets I didn't have. For example, mine did not come with the shifter bracket, so purchased that from Victor over at Honda. So nuts, bolts, and brackets, I spent $511.93, and definitely it was much worth it. Just overall appearance, it just adds to everything. Hybrid racing, the gear selector and Deaton springs, $50.44. The shifter, I can't even stress you guys, it feels just really nice going in the gear. These are super easy to do. The Deaton bolts, they are underneath the transmount bracket. There's I believe there's 3 of them, and then the gear selector, you have to remove that out in a certain orientation and replace those springs. So really easy to do. I believe on Hybrid Racing's website there is instructions on how to do that. So $50.44 for that. The Skunk 2 intake manifold, yes, that's right, you guys, that's not a misprint. I bought it from someone who gave up on their, they were going to do a K-swap on a 240, and he had bought a brand new one, and he was just trying to recoup some of the money. $280, it was brand new in the box. In my last video, I had actually mentioned that it did not come with an intake manifold gasket. I was wrong, so I do apologize for that. It did come with one. I don't think I have it here. Oh, actually, here. This is the intake manifold gasket that came with this. These are those like phenolic ones that supposed to help lower air intake temp and all that. I never had good luck with these, so I just put in an OEM one. But it is definitely thicker than the OEM one. But like I said, these are just kind of hard to get them to seal right, and I don't know if you had to actually double gasket this or what, but yeah, this is the intake manifold gasket the Skunk 2 one comes with. I just didn't use it. Nothing, nothing wrong with just doing the OEM one, but yeah. So that was $280 for the intake manifold gasket. Hybrid Racing shifter cable inserts, $27.49. Those inserts, they are these guys. These guys right in here. So just replace those just to give the shifter a much more nicer feel. I think they're like Delrin bushings, so definitely feels good. Like minimum slop. So $27.49 for that. Bull Boost Performance billet shifter arm. Kind of saw that when I was here, so I'll go back and show you that. The factory ones are plastic. They kind of, I haven't really seen any of them break, but billet is definitely better than plastic. So, this real nice piece. It's a knockoff copy of a K-tuned one, but I definitely like it. In the future, maybe towards my birthday, I'll give myself an actual nice shifter box. So we'll just have to wait and see for that. And that was $20.78. Crank pulley, $49.45. When I first was taking everything apart, the crank pulley was on there really, really tight. Unfortunately, around the crank pulley, it's like the harmonic bounce or whatever. It's like rubber, so I'm not gonna be able to show you guys. Uh, it's rubber, and unfortunately, with how much heat I actually had to put into it to get it off, it actually split into two pieces. So I had to source another one. So just got that from eBay, $49.45. Street Race lower timing chain guide, $23.05. When you put the chain guide and everything on the chains, unless you have like your cams and everything in place, it will constantly fall. So that lower chain guide actually was nice because it kept the chain in place where it needed to be. So I definitely recommend that. You don't have to go with Street Race. There's a lot of other companies, but that was actually nice. It made it a little more easy for me to just like leave the chain in place as I routed it and put it on the actual cam gears and all that. So that was 23.05 for that. Blocks 70 millimeter throttle body. Simple explanation. Could have gone bigger, but I want to say the 70 mil is equivalent to like a 3-inch. I'm not a math guy. I don't know, but there's 72 mil, so that's just what I went with. K20A2 cams, $90. Bought these used. My setup is a VTech Killer setup. So how I utilize the VTech Killer setup, K20A3s compared to A2s, it's not traditional VTech. The heads and all that too, they're different. A3s do not have a spot for, I believe, the LMAs. They call it the lost like motion assembly or something like that. A3s don't have a spot like that, and they're very, very strange in the sense that the intake side has two lobes on the cam for each cylinder. The exhaust side only has one. So very unique and just like strange how Honda did this, but it works really well. So what I did, I kept my 8.4 exhaust rockers that was already on here, and I went to Victor and I purchased 4 more. So altogether, there's 8 K20A3 exhaust rockers and the K20A2 cams, and everything just bolts right in. You line it all up according to just like factory marks. You don't do anything special. I will say this, when I was putting them in on the exhaust side, as I was rotating, I did notice that the certain parts of the cam, the lobes, were kind of coming into contact with the actual rockers. So every time I rotate the engine around, unfortunately, I kept seeing really, really tiny pieces of metal just like coming away. It is what it is. So I just went in there with my vacuum and duster and those metal pieces, I just blew away, made sure none of them went in the engine bay. But I went under the notion for what it said on the internet, like where everyone goes to. They say you don't have to shave the rockers on K20A3. These were OEM K20A3, and that wasn't the case. So I don't know what that guy was talking about, or if when he put it in, he didn't notice. So you have to do very, very minor shaving. I've now run this setup for almost, let's see, a little over a month now. I've been running this setup, and everything feels okay. Nothing's wrong with it. I did take the valve cover up maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago again, just to see if there was any more issue with the cams and the exhaust rockers making contact in the back, and everything was all good. So yeah, in the future, if you do that, the ones in the back you will have to shave. The ones in the front, perfectly, a lot of clearance, don't have to do that. But the cam for the exhaust side, for if you do K20A2 cams, you do have to shave the inner parts of the exhaust rocker, just a very, very tiny amount. Like honestly, I didn't even, I probably didn't do any damage to them with that. But yeah, I guess in the future we'll see how it goes. I've been beating on the car here and there, so everything I'll say is a-okay. So yeah, it was $90 for those. Then moving right along, Skunk 2 engine and trans drain plugs. They're magnetic. Peace of mind, when you change the fluid and all, you maybe see like little bits of metal here and there, so it's nothing bad to have. $32.99 for that. The exhaust rockers from Honda, OEM ones, $135.80. That was for 4 of those. Bull Boost Performance Purge Valve Block Off, $18.89. That's this right here. Just this was for an emission plug, so we just blocked that off. And then I've said before in my video, but this whole thing is a stock K20A3. So this is the factory K20A3 engine harness, trans, block, head, the whole entire thing. So Acuity oil caps, $74.80. Definitely, I like a lot of the products from Acuity. Nice thing about this oil cap, technically there's 3 ways you could take it off if you're strong, which I'm not. You could try to take it off by hand. This is a 15 millimeter bolt, or you could get like a really tiny flathead screwdriver, put it in here, and turn it to get it off. So technically 3 ways you could take the oil cap off, and it's definitely nice. I like it. Then we got the ECU mount, $47.31. I looked on eBay, and there's this guy who 3D prints these ECU mounts for EFs, EGs, and all that have K series ECUs, and it literally goes in the factory location. I really like how he did this. Everything fit. You could see here. So ECU, the legs, as they call it, there's 3 legs. You got one here, you got one at the top, and then you have one over there. He makes these covers that help actually bolt it down into place. So this was really nice, real nice 3D printed product he did. If you guys want, I can go back on eBay, try and find his username, but definitely if you want a nice clean look in here, right? And I know they have a lot of other stuff out there, but this was really close to like a factory style mount for me, so definitely like that. And once again, that was $47.31 for that one. Yep. Acuity TPS throttle position sensor. I was trying to remove my factory one. It broke, so I just opted for this. It kind of sort of, with this whole setup I have, it rests a smidge on the actual radiator hose. Nothing I'm too alarmed about. So in the future, say if I ever do like a K24 block, I've heard K24 blocks are about 5 millimeters taller. So technically this should in theory just raise. So in the future, this will be taken care of. But right now it's not that big of a deal. That was $141 for that. Rywire OBD2 to RDX injector adapters. That's this kind of ugly mess you have here. I'm not a wiring guy. This is how I've done all my setups before. Just simple plug and play adapters. So the factory engine harness and all that, they're OBD2. RDXs have their own like unique style. So this was nice. I just kind of zip tied everything here. Few people told me route it under here, make a cleaner look, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me. If in the future, I ever want to say had to take all this off, all the clips, everything, they're literally just right here, rather than trying to fight it, trying to get it off. So, I mean, it's a little ugly. It couldn't make it look a little better, but for what this is, I honestly don't mind how it looks. So, and those clips, 72.50. Sorry guys, I'm running a little out of breath. I'm like I said, I've caught a little bit of a cold, so I'm trying to do this video for you guys. K motor PCV delete. Uh, the factory one went here, and as you can see, if I kept the factory one, this would have been like a really tight holes just to get this to work. So this skunk tube piece, this came with it. You just blocked it off, or it came with an actual barb fitting if you want to use it. I blocked it off, and then this whole entire piece gets replaced for that. So yeah, that PCV delete was $20.69. Intermediate shaft, $219.99. Unfortunately, my engine did not come with one, and I had to purchase one separate. From what I gathered, they're all the same except for the automatics. The automatic ones are different. So yeah, intermediate shaft, just simple one. Mine, I believe it said it was for an RSX. So, $219.99 for that. And then, yeah, we're actually almost done with all this. This one was just a real simple page. FD2 Type RL dipstick, $45. The factory one is orange. I like the black look. I could have gotten the hybrid ones and all that, but I kind of liked a OEM sort of plus look. So, it's still plastic, so in the future its potential might break again, but I definitely like how it looks. And then Skunk 2 VTEC solenoid block off, $81.49 for that. Since VTEC killers and VTEC all the time, I didn't need the solenoid hooked up, so that's what these wires are all here. I'm gonna try and bring it down here, get a good look for you guys. All right, there we go. That's that. The solenoid block off, and those wires just chilled there. That was $81.49. This one, Charlie Mao Wrinkle Blue valve cover, guys. I really like the work that Charlie does on the valve covers. I would suggest to any of you, and if you guys want, I can find a link to. He has a Facebook. I don't know if he has a YouTube or anything like that, but this thing, I really like his work that he does on all these valve covers. My buddies, they show me a lot of his, and I just like this. I was still debating on the color to go with, and then he actually had this one already like pre-made. Maybe he had it pre-made for a customer that say bailed on him or something, and I decided to pick it up, and I'm really happy I did. I got kind of a blue theme going here, so that's blue, the dash is blue, steering wheel's blue, lug nuts are blue. So yeah, definitely, if you ever want a nice powder coated valve cover, he is the guy to go to. Even the baffle underneath, he takes it, cleans it up, and zinc coats it, and gives you all new hardwares and screws to do that. So yeah, in the future, shout out to Charlie. If you guys ever want a valve cover of any sort, he sent me a list of the website of all the colors that he could do, and dude, this is one of my favorite pieces. This just set off my whole thing. When I first put the valve cover on, I was just blown away. It just amazing. He offers an exchange program. So I can't remember how much it was, but that $190 was after I sent my factory valve cover back to him. So thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that from you. Then we got oil catch can hose and two dash 10 straight fittings, $34.81. That's let's see, that's pretty much this fitting and this fitting. This fitting down here and the fitting down here I already had from the previous build, so I'm not really going to count it. Roughly kind of will say the same thing. They're probably maybe $10 each. But yeah, this fitting here, the catch can, same thing, was from a previous build of mine. It is a K motor unit. It's really nice. Underneath it, it has the petcock. So reason why I mounted it this high, I have a little cup here, and it's actually really easy for me to just put it here, open the valve, and then just drain it. So that's literally why I have it sitting so high up in my engine bay. So you could route yours however I want. I don't have a hood on mine, but if anything, I might just like cut a hole here just for that. So this is technically how it's supposed to be on cars. You're not really supposed to have this um, below, say, the breather for like the valve cover. I can't remember what the reasoning was that I heard this, but I mean, won't really hurt it, but it's just if you have it say lower, mounted lower. I heard the with the oil and all that, it kind of sort of collects more oil. I don't know. This is just what I heard on the internet and stuff, so don't quote me on that. But this is the right way. Try and get the catch can to be as high up and as straight as possible with your fittings. The one down here doesn't really matter too much, but the one coming off like the valve cover, that one is a big one, they say. So that catch can, I can tell you, it was $100 off K Motor. Definitely I like that. Definitely recommend that. The K Motor valve cover breather adapter, that's this one right here. You just push it on there. There's two sizes, so you do have to measure the size of your actual valve cover with the this fitting or whatever it is, and then you'd order their fitting according to what your fitting here on the valve cover actually measured to. So that's what this is, and just like it just slips on, so it's not going anywhere, not rotating. So that was $19.99 for that. 90-degree metal bracket for oil catch can. That's this right here. I just went to Home Depot. This is just a simple L bracket. It already had these two holes drilled. I just bent the bracket a little bit, and that is just a simple hose clamp. So I took it originally to DJ, and I was going to have him weld it. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but he said, you know what? Since you can actually, your bracket is so long, you could technically, if say I didn't have these fittings up here, if they were like one up here, one down here, I could technically have moved this whole entire unit with this, and then I could say tighten the bracket all the way down here. So definitely if you want something just like cheap and works, this is what it is. So just a simple 90-degree bracket, hose clamp, and then just wrap it around and then tighten it, and then yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere since I've been driving and beating on the car. So that bracket from Menards I got $1.95. Battery post covers $11.53. It's just those ones that cover the positive and negative posts. Usually at the track they want you to have that. So plus it looks nicer than just leaving them exposed. So that was $11.53 for that. Sorry guys, I'm almost there. We're almost done here. Then we got Hybrid Racing coil pack cover, $66.44. That's this piece right here. Comes with the Allen, and then there's two spacers that help actually help keep it raised. There you could see the one there, and the other side has the same thing. And then this one right here, the actual nut on the factory valve cover, instead of one of these acorn nuts, I think they call it, it just comes with a regular nut, so you just replace that just so this sits down more. So that was $66.44 for that. K-Tune timing tensioner cover, $63. I had the factory one on here. I guess I didn't put enough RTV on it, or was already bent, so I just decided to opt for one there. The factory one, it's really thin, has a tendency to bend real easily when you remove them, so I don't know if mine was bent or if I didn't have enough RTV, but yeah, that's much more nicer piece I went with. And then since I went with sorry guys, since I went with a VTEC killer setup, I had to obviously get the car tuned. There is no real base tune in Honda for it, so it's all custom. Rudd's Racing I went to, and shout out to Marsh and Rudd's for this tune. Marsh's tune was $800, and then I also forgot I had to get an alignment since I did the K-tune traction bar. That was $150 for that. So this was a lot for the tune, but let me tell you, like, the car moves. It goes so good. The idle is a little finicky. Luckily, I went back to DJ and we got it ironed out to the best we can. VTEC killers, they're odd setups. It's not an OEM setup, so you have to work with it a little bit. But we got it to where it idles decent. I got some stuff too. I got to still improve on the car. Like when I turn the car on, I do have to actually give it a little bit of gas. One of the grounds I've read on Honda that the one ground should be short and mine's not. That's this ground here that goes off like the trans bracket hanger. It's supposed to be short, but I have a real long one. So when you crank, it draws a lot of power, drops the voltage a little bit. But with me giving it gas, it's fired up every single time. So that one in the future I have to fix. But it does turn on every time. I don't have an issue with it. And yeah, the idle is just like so. I have to keep my foot on the gas for at least like a minute or two, just till the temperature starts to get to operating temp, and then I can let go and it kind of settles right there for idle. When it's fully warm, the highest little idle is like about 11 to 1200. Which for something like this, how stiff a motor mounts I have, 88 durometer, that's not bad. Anything lower than that, with a choppy idle and all that, everything will just vibrate and shake. So little more higher idle speed, much more better for everything. So once again, Jamie Marsh's tune was $800 and $150 was for alignment from Rugs. So for my extras, that costs me $3,458 even for all the extras that I did. So that one added up quite a bit, especially the tune and all that. The tune, based on my setup, it was an extra I wanted to do. If I didn't do the VTEC killer setup, could have saved there, but I wanted more power on it, and I was kind of sort of going on the budget. But I'll be honest, after I revealed to you guys the final price here, there was no budget. I went overboard and I didn't even realize it, but it happens. And I'm pretty much right there where most people spend on their casers. And mind you, this is still an A3 setup. It's not even an A2. A2, even if I did have an A2, I think I might have still spent about the same amount. The difference being an A3, for say to equal the cost of the A2, I got my head rebuilt and got all that like sorted. So if I didn't do the head rebuild, it would have been cheaper than an A2. But since I rebuilt the head and all that, it kind of came out to about the same price as what I would have paid for an A2. The trans also being a 5-speed, no way I was going to score a 6-speed LSD for the cost of mine. And I paid $850 for the engine, trans, ECU, and the wiring harness. So you work with what you have, and then you go from there. I've always liked to do unique setups on my car, so this one, definitely one of the more unique ones I have. I got something in mind in the future, so we'll just wait and see for that. And then the big one, the grand total for every single dollar, dime I spent, that's everything. So bolts, nuts, hardware, parts, some stuff, like I said, I didn't equal out into the price. I already had the catch can, I had some of the fittings, so on and so forth. The final price for what I spent for all of this, $12,435.01. A lot of ramen noodles I ate. So, so yeah, guys, if you're thinking about doing something like this, and mind you, as you can see, I went with a lot of brand name parts. You guys could obviously pick and choose what you want to do knockoffs on, what you want to replace, what you don't want to replace. That'll significantly lower the price. So just take that into account if you ever want to really do this. I didn't have to really add all this up. It does kind of hurt, but this is the best engine, and the engine my friends annoyed me a lot with to go with. So yeah, we'll see how it does. So far, every single time I drive it, I have nothing but a big ass smile on my face. So for me to kind of rate the engine, the power on a scale of 1 to 10, easily, this is a 10. It goes so good. power delivery and all that. Daily driving, I'd probably give it more like a 6 to 7, especially with the idle dipping down sometimes here and there, and me trying to take off the line. It's hard for me too with the VTEC killer setup. So it's a little hard to get up and move in traffic. But on the highway and all that, it scoots, it moves. So VTEC killer, you do lose low range RPM, which is why a lot of people don't like to do the locked VTEC and all that. You do lose that low end performance from Honda. And you might joke, oh, it's VTEC and Hondas and 4 cylinders, they have no torque. But you'd be surprised. 2 liters like B20s, K20s, they have a actual decent amount of torque down low. But yeah, definitely power wise and reliability so far, I give it a 10. Cruising wise and all that around the city and all that, I give it a 6 or 7. So at the end of the year, I got a few track events lined up. We'll see how it does. I'll try and take you guys with me to figure that out. But yeah, hopefully this video was insightful to you guys, and yeah, like, share, subscribe. I'll be doing more content in the future with my car, probably others like friends projects as well too. So yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your night this lovely Memorial Day, and like I say, stay loose.